Hi, Rick from Dreamside Out. I just got off work Friday night. I'm heading out of town for an adventure somewhere. That's one of the cool things about living in a van right here. I just get off work and I'm driving off out of town to have an adventure out in the woods somewhere. I'm not going up in the mountains because it's been too cold up there. There's lots of snowfall still happening, avalanche warnings, all kinds of stuff. So I just decided to stay out of the mountain. Just gonna stop and get some groceries right quick before I go catch a ferry. Need a little coffee for the road, so I'm stopping here at one. I'm gonna get in line for the ferry boat ride over to Kingston here in just a minute. Well, you know, sometimes I just get the urge to get out of town, and that's one of the cool things about living this lifestyle, because I'm already packed and ready to go. I stopped and got a few groceries, but I've got enough food and there's enough other places to stop and get more stuff if I need it. So I'll probably have to get some gas pretty soon here, but it's just great. You know, that's the thing about this, is so cool. I mean, you just get a whim that you want to leave and get out of town, and you just point your rig that direction and go. Sometimes when I have a creative block, you know, and I get in a rut and I feel like I'm not getting anything produced, the best thing for me to do is to drive. I get behind the wheel of my rig and I just start driving, go someplace like this, and I can already feel the inspiration starting because I'm getting out of town and doing this. The guy ahead of me is trying to use his cell phone to scan. It's taking forever. Howdy.
Glad they're not all that way.
Pardon me?
Glad they're not all that way.
Oh yeah, that was taking a long time, wasn't it? Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, yeah. I'm camped here tonight at Lyre River Campground. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Came in last night about 7:30 or 8. Nice little place. Got the back door open with a river running right out there, right off the back porch here. What a beautiful place to camp. One of those rare times I'm running my generator. I'm getting solar this morning, but I'm parked in the woods and my cell phone's almost dead and all kinds of stuff needs to be charged. So I thought I'd just give the batteries a little help this morning with the generator. Hey, I'm here with a familiar face, a famous dude here. None other than the nomadic fanatic Eric Jacobs. And I did meet Jax last night, gave Jax a little pet. What brings you down here right now, Eric? Are you
Well, I mean, this is one of my favorite spots. This is the Lyre River down here, and I've been here lots of times in the summertime where this entire place is full. Where you come out here in off season, and there's just something about the water that just soothes anything. Like the whole reason I came back to the Northwest was thinking about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting so much of the rain.
Yeah.
But you know, we got our dry days, and this is a good place to just sit back and relax.
It's for sure been pretty wet. We've had lots of weird weather here, but man, when you come to a place like this, it's just, I mean, you can't beat this. How does this compare? How does Washington now compare with all your travels? You've been all over.
Well, I mean, there are some places here that have closed down some campgrounds. This is one of the few places you can still literally camp right on the river, so it's really nice.
Okay.
I'm always good for a body of water, but the green, the moss, the ivy running up all the trees, it's very unique to this area, and it gives off this really special feeling. Plus the moisture in the air, you can smell the green and the moss and the fungus and everything. So
no kidding.
I feel like it's pretty unique to this area.
Excellent. So here's something I've wondered about, Eric. I'm a newbie to this videography stuff, and it's obvious that you're not. You really know what you're doing. When did you get interested in this, and how did this all come about for you? I don't know if anybody's ever asked you that before.
I think I'm still learning. I think you can see my progress over the last 3 years on YouTube slowly start to just get better with the people that I watch. I see somebody do something, I'm like, how'd they do that? I want to figure out how to do that because I like that. So I'm inspired by other YouTubers, other people that create videos.
Great.
I went to college and studied film and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I could have taken a completely different route than YouTube, and I just thought that this lifestyle was a lot more laid back, a lot more control as a person, where I don't have other people that I have to count on to pull through. It's just the one-man show on the road, and it's been really exciting.
Yeah. I can see the hours and effort. I mean, just doing a little bit of it myself, I know what kind of effort it takes to do a good video. So what kind of time do you spend on this stuff? I mean,
well, recently within the last year, I've actually switched to only putting the video out every other day, and that was based on wanting to put out better quality rather than quantity. I don't consider my stuff a daily vlog. I consider it telling a story. And sometimes I sit down before I want to film and think about how I want to put something together, what I want to film, how I want to put it together. Do I want to get the guitar out and put all these pieces together and then edit all that together? So a lot of times I want to create a story and have it work. But for any 10-minute video you see on YouTube, I can almost guarantee you there's at least 10 hours of prep and editing involved. And I don't really count the time spent filming because I love to film. I'm always got a camera in my hand everywhere I go, and it's always rolling on the dashboard.
Yep.
About 10 hours per video, I guess.
See, there you go. I mean, that's interesting, because I don't think people take this for granted. You know, I think you hear people's comments and this stuff. More videos. And I don't think everybody realizes.
Just slap one together real quick.
Yeah, they don't realize the amount of heart and effort and soul that goes into making this stuff. And you make me want to up my game. I mean, when I see your stuff, I always want to try to, hey, God, you know.
But like I said, I do the same thing. I watch so many other YouTubers. I see something I like. I see an effect I like. I see a style I like, and I want to emulate that in my own way. You know, and I tell them right away, I like that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do my version of that.
Excellent.
And I'll find out how to do it. And that's the passion that drives all YouTube creators. There's always something else we want to do more. There's something better we can do with our channel. So just keep this going.
Yep. Here's a question for you, Eric. I think I've watched you for a couple of years now. I think I watched you from the beginning, and I always check into your channel. And I've seen your progress over time. I saw you when you first started. You didn't know where you were going. I remember that was a cool start you had. You were heading south. You didn't know what the future was. And here you are, a couple years later or something? I don't know. And
you know, on the first one, it was really just, I had this much money to get to California. No plans after that.
Yeah.
I'll probably come back home, but go down to California and come back. Well, life changed. I mean, I started making money on YouTube. I monetized my channel a year into it. Yeah. And from there, I just started going east, went all the way to Florida, and then found out that, wow, I really like to film and see new stuff. And, my channel to start really wasn't about really being nomadic on the road. It was about living full-time in an RV and staying nearby college where I was at. So
that's funny, yeah.
It was really unique how things can change on the road that you just didn't plan. And that's why I don't really like to set a whole lot of stuff in stone. I think quarter to quarter, about 3 months out in advance where I might want to be, what I might want to do. I don't set a whole lot of really long-term goals. But I love to travel. I guarantee you 5-10 years from now, I'm not going to be sitting in some RV park editing video month to month anywhere. It's always going to be something, moving, even if I have to do some work camping and spend a month at a time somewhere to save up. But my life on the road is pretty much going to stay that way for the indefinite future. Next 20 years, I see myself still traveling, maybe more of the world, overseas a little more.
There you go.
But there's just so much of this country still to explore that I'm not tired of it yet, so that's a good thing.
Cool, man. Yeah, way to go. You definitely sounds like the soul of a nomad, for sure. Cool. So you wouldn't be, if I was to ask you what your prediction for the future is, it's just continue to travel into the...
Travel and share and explore and keep things
I think I wanted to ask you here, one of my favorite books that I carry with me in the van, hold it up, it's called Blue Highways there.
Blue Highways, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, by William Heath, what's his last name, Heath Moon or something. It's kind of a strange last name, but that's one of the books that I've read, and it's one of those ones, kind of the Bible of van dwelling, and you sort of just embody this guy. I mean, you're the character here, sort of doing it the modern version of it.
Huh.
And so you haven't read this or anything, and you just...
No, I haven't, but I'm really interested in the journey that gets people there.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have a certain story of what's that final thing that meant, you know what? Going on the road,
Yeah.
leaving it all behind. So
Yeah.
that kind of stuff can be really interesting from a personal perspective, but also for a planning perspective.
Exactly.
Because you got so many people sitting there saying, I can't do it. I'm attached to this, I'm attached to that. That's still going on, I can't do this. Well, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways that get you on the road and get you to explore it. A
Yeah.
lot of people find it really interesting to see who was able to cut what chains and do what to get on the road. So.
Well, yeah, good thoughts. Yeah, and this is kind of where it started for me, just reading this book a few years ago, and then I started watching YouTube, and I came across guys like you, and that was how the inspiration unfolded for me to do this.
Okay.
And so I just always plug this book. I don't get any money off of it, but I think it's the Bible of the wanderers. You know, and if you want to have something to read there.
Well, I appreciate you sharing. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, anyway. So, hey, man, it's nice meeting
Thank
you. Nice
so much
talking
for
to you.
coming down here.
See you, Eric. Well, that was a real interesting and quite inspiring interview for me with Eric, the nomadic fanatic, and his companion Jax, the cat. I can't say that from that brief encounter that I really know the guy very well. I can tell he's a private guy, but at the same time he's willing to put himself out there and share his experiences. But there were a few things that came across that stood out just from the short little interview. One, he's a guy that decided to try and find his way. And to do that, he just headed out like Odysseus or something. And he found his way along the way. He's a guy who obviously, at a very young age, has found his true calling. And he's sticking with it. What an inspiration, huh? Thanks for watching.